It is now. Okay, let's get started. It's me today. You've got me today.
All right, welcome.
Aren't you guys super ultra mega excited that I'm here today? Thank you. Thank you. That's what I wanted to say.
What a natural cross.
Kathleen Gong is in today. Her and I are at the helm along with Brooke. So we're a team today. All right, so if you didn't already, we just ask that you guys scan the QR code to check in. It's important for us to just keep track of who's attending what so that we can make sure that our training calendar is appropriate to your needs. And obviously there's a section in there that says like things that you want to see or more topics you want to be discussed. So go ahead and fill that out. We actually look at that and take that into consideration, but we need you to fill it out and do it. Okay? Any questions? Okay. Kathleen, I'm pressing down and it's not doing it now. Kathleen just gave me the tutorial and it's not working. Oh. Again, here's our mission, vision, values. We're going to be talking about that later when we talk about Red Day. We have that on the in our slides today, so that will be part of the conversation that we have today. We are excited to announce Esbere Escobar. She is transferring from innovation over to the Medina's real estate team. So teams are growing here, guys. Like we have seen so much growth on the team side. So it's really exciting. We're super excited to see what you guys are building and how each team has their own nuances and values. So we are excited for the growth that we're seeing here. And Kelly Ambler has joined the All-In Real Estate team. Very exciting as well.
I don't have a headshot yet, I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe your rainmaker can help you with that.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into some training education. Okay, so we obviously, our training calendar is always packed with lots of information, lots of trainings going on. Does everybody know where to find this, right? KW website or the kwmilwaukeerealty.com. Some of the things coming up in the next couple of weeks. One of the things that I do want to highlight, which I'll highlight later, but obviously we've got lots of things on the calendar. So let me look at it. We are having list reports come to the Lake Country meetup at 10:30 on Tuesday, the 16th. We've got the budget mastermind coming up. If you haven't gone to that, I encourage you to go to it. Obviously, it's a value to your business to keep track of your finances. So I encourage you to go to that. We are super excited about the 25th, the value, how to articulate your value to your clients from 12 to 4. And then on the 29th is Glover is coming. Have you guys all seen the information for Glover? Mm-hmm. All right, we'll be talking about that a little bit later, but make sure to just follow this calendar. So Achieve is the homegrown capper class that we hold now. We just changed the name, but we are encouraging everybody to come next week because Mark Smith uses RPR at a very high level. So if you're interested about learning more about how to use RPR for your business, how to get into the depths of it, he will be teaching. We encourage you to come 10 to 11:30 next week, Tuesday. April, we are from 10:30 to 1. The Milwaukee Rescue Mission. I actually don't know much about this. I'm sorry.
I got you.
Okay, thank you.
So
this one came in as threat.
once a month, we're offering opportunities to volunteer in the market. Here's what I tell you. Quick raise of hands. Have you ever dealt with anxiety before? Perfect. Felt pressure of the market? Raise your hand. Felt stress within your life, whether it's personally or professionally? Great. Could be about 100%.
Yeah.
If not, I think we're worried about you. Here's the point. What we're trying to integrate into our daily lives to help you manage your pressure, stress, anxiety is opportunities for you to give back within our community. Because here's what I know, when you give of your time, energy, and resources to something, whether it's the Milwaukee Rescue Mission this month, whether it's a variety of things that the serving committee has brought forth, I will tell you this, your problems that you feel as if are big within your life, put things into perspective really quickly. And it's a very cleansing moment for who you are and what you're dealing with to help serve other people who's, quite frankly, dealing with either odds that are much steeper than what you're dealing with or issues that are much bigger than what you're dealing with. And I do think that there is a component of where you get clarity from in the moment to help provide perspective. And so the reason why the serving committee is providing these opportunities is not only the opportunities for us to give back, is I'm challenging the way that you think about how you give back in your communities, because it's really helpful for you and how you deal with the market of the moment and how stress shows up in your life. Cool? So if you'd like to participate on Thursdays throughout the month of April, Milwaukee Rescue Mission is providing opportunities for us to serve meals and serve people who really need us the most right now in the city. Cool? Cool. Sweet.
All right, do you want to just talk about
I can
that?
do the training that you.
Okay, thanks.
It's a tag team, that's why we're here. Okay, another question for you. It's a good group because this group really plays along with my games. All right, how many of you have kids? Just quick raise of hands. That's like 80% of the room. Okay, now, how many of you who have kids, have you told them something they didn't listen to you and it created frustration? Okay, now, the last question of this game. How many of you have told something to your kids that you know is right, they didn't listen to you, and then they came home and they heard it from a different source and they thought it was ingenious? Okay, here's my point. Value squared. How we articulate our value, how we navigate the market of the moment, what is going on within our world, how do we navigate what it looks like? I'll use an example as to how the kid. I talked with an agent yesterday, went to value squared twice. We're gonna go a third time, and they said, you know what? I heard something different the second time than I did the first time. I heard it differently, even though it was the same 3 panels. During different moments of your life. It's a great opportunity for you to think about how you are articulating your value at a macro level, and we'll continue to provide you opportunities at a micro level as to what's going on and how do you navigate the local southeastern Wisconsin market. Does that make sense? Sometimes, I know this, agents have to hear things more than once in order for it to sink in or for the seed that we're trying to plant to germinate. And so you have 2 opportunities in April to hear a little bit more about value squared, one this week on April 10th and one on April 25th. Cool? Sweet. All right, April 29th, there's already 90 people registered for Jeff Glover. 45 of the 90 are in the Southwestern Market Center. Okay, here's the other thing. For those of you, let's just play along with my games again today. How many of you have been to a Jeff Glover event? About half the room. Okay, here's the beauty of this event. Jeff's not coming to pitch you anything.
I thought you were gonna say Jeff's not coming again.
No. Jeff's not coming to pitch you anything, because I've heard that feedback before, like when he sends some of the people within Glover U, they're pitching you to go to their next event. We're paying Jeff to come in and deliver meat and potatoes content all around his 5-step listing presentation, as well as conversations he's having with his buyers in order for him to earn what it's worth in the event that commission becomes negotiable within the transaction. Make sense? At the War Memorial, 29th, 1 to 4. Cool?
Mhm.
Sweet. With that, the real estate investing mastermind is coming up
It's next Wednesday.
next Wednesday.
We are really excited, so we are getting some great speakers to come in. So this, on Wednesday, it's going to be a property management company that's coming in to talk about all things property management when it comes to investing. And then Jeff Nevin is going to be talking about the resources and tools he uses to find off-market properties, and he's going to be making live calls in front of the group on how he is actually finding those properties. Because he was just able to find a very nice block shot duplex off market that he purchased at a decent price point that the rest of the group is highly insanely jealous about. This group is great. It's growing. We have about 20 people in it right now. We're also looking in May. I don't know if you guys have heard of the game from Rich Dad Poor Dad. He created a game that is all about building financial freedom.
Cash flow quadrant, baby.
What's that?
Cash flow quadrant.
Cash flow quadrant. So we are purchasing the game for the group and we are gonna get together as a group and play it. Yeah, so come and check it out. It's next Wednesday here from 1 to 3. I think you'll like what you see.
Sweet. Also coming up, sponsored by Focus, is a shred event.
Yeah, so if I can just talk about this real quick. So thank you to the Schmidt Group for helping to put this together for us. And thank you to Focus for sponsoring it. Pro Shred will be on site from 9 to noon on Saturday, May 11th. This is a client event for you. Okay, so I've created a smart plan and the smart plan library for this. It's a simple email and then you can always add steps to your smart plan to make it your own. But we want you to invite your databases, much like that e-waste recycling event we did last year. And if you are gonna be inviting your databases, we just ask that you also maybe be on site to help traffic control. Those that were here last year kind of understood the flow of traffic, but there were times where it was pretty backed up. So, yeah, so free shred event for your clients. Take advantage of it.
A client event that you didn't have to organize, you don't have to pay for, you don't have to do anything other than what? Invite your database. And guess what? Here's the trick that most people don't understand around client events. Is the event itself the matter of value or importance? It's a trick question. No. It's the pre-event, what you do to drive engagement to what it is that you're offering for your clients of something of value. And then what's the post-event of how you communicate what it is that you offer for your clients of something of value to drive FOMO. Because it's in a game of mind share. Yes, Tina.
So with that being said, Kathleen did build a smart plan that's already in our library. And then today in our Achieve class, we actually built out a really kind of beefier smart plan. So if anybody is interested in seeing what we've done, it's a 26-day smart plan that starts on Monday. If anybody would like to see that, or feel free to contact myself or Kathleen, and we'd be happy to share that with you as well.
Get it done.
Can I
Yes,
add
Lynn.
something?
Yeah.
So the only way I got this expense approved was I promised that you guys would like tag us on Facebook and maybe add our logo to your invite. So could y'all just do a girl a favor?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
100%.
Sweet. All right. Another game. You ready? Raise the hands. Who has listened to Jason Abrams' MREA podcast or is aware of what the podcast
Every
is?
Monday. Love it.
Sweet, like 40% of the room. The 60% of the room that didn't raise their hand, I'd highly recommend it if podcasts are your thing. Okay? What he's doing is he's interviewing agents who make net $1 million. And he's understanding what it is that they've done to help them create and build scale. Now, what he's doing now as a follow-up to that is they release episodes on Monday. And on Thursdays, they're going to release the one-pager notes all around the systems that these agents are sharing with you. So if you go, and I can move this so that you can scan it if you're interested. If you go to mreanotes.com or you scan the QR code, you can simply register to subscribe so that on every Thursday after the Monday podcast release, you get the one-pager notes of what the systems they've done to implement within their business to build an MREA business. Cool? The other thing that we will do is we are going to be gathering these notes and uploading it to the KW Realty MKE website as well, so that you can get them in a multitude of ways. I think it's a phenomenal resource. Sweet? Don't sound so excited today on a beautiful Friday or Tuesday. Everybody good on online showings? Okay, I'll tell you this. Just have to understand who my audience is. I have some interesting energy around the MLS. Okay, You can read in between the lines on what that means. And I will also tell you, I've been incredibly impressed after I've been challenging them in terms of the sense of urgency that they need to be implementing some of the changes to align showings and the response rate that they've provided us when we've given them feedback on some of these things. Since Jared came on, was that 2-3 weeks ago? Since Jared came on 2 to 3 weeks ago to where the platform is today and the emails I've been copied on between the entire MLS team, I do have to give them credit for what they're doing to enhance the platform. I get it, it's not perfect sitting here on April 9th, but I've been impressed with the speed in which that they're implementing some changes in order to enhance the usability for you guys. Cool? Any comments, feedbacks on Align showing? Feel free to send it my way, Diana's way, Tina's way, and we'll get it in the hands of MLS. They're definitely listening. The other thing I'd tell you is I don't think many people are providing feedback, so that, which is scary to me. And so the more feedback we can give them, the more that we can help shape what the platform needs to be. Cool? Sweet. Office operations update. Tina?
Yes, so this conference room here is no longer available for agent meetings. It is now Zach Barnes from Ingles Realty office. So just keep that in mind. Alternatives are listed there. It's kind of funny, a group didn't know today, and so they just walked in there and sat down and had a meeting, so. I was like, get out of it, it's somebody's office now. So, you know.
We're working on space solutions.
Yeah, it's great. We're growing, teams are growing, and it's a good problem to have. And in the meantime, if you do need a meeting space and the rooms are booked, just come see me and Diana, and we'll do our best to just get you the space that you need. So. Right.
Space is a premium, that's not a bad thing to have. We just have to figure out how do we best maximize the capacity of the space. Cool? Sweet. Shipley? You guys were watching.
Right.
It's been so long, you guys.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So this is something, so WRA posed this question. We've had, just in general, sometimes deals fall apart after home inspection, right? We're playing a game, yes?
Yeah, come
Yes,
on,
we're
we're
playing
playing
a game.
Yes.
Deals fall apart after home inspection. So what we used to say, best practice, let's be upfront, let's share the home inspection report, just so that the next buyers coming in know exactly what they're walking into. The WRA released some information just saying, okay, here we go, buyer one backs out of a transaction. New prospective buyer, buyer two is interested in the property. Can the listing agent share buyer one's prior inspection report with buyer two? Yes, Tony.
Technically not without express permission because it is actually the property of the buyer who paid for it.
Tony, did you read my next slide? So, kind of, yes, if we could go to slide 2, I've got.
Wouldn't it not be the seller's decision, since in the contract it says the seller is supposed to, and I argue with so many, the seller is supposed to receive a copy of that
Yes,
inspection
they are.
report basically as soon as the buyers get it, they're supposed to be sharing that with the
They
seller.
are, yes,
It's in the contract.
it is in the contract.
It's in the listing
yes.
contract. And I tell whoever I'm working with, that's part of the deal. When you write an offer to purchase, that you're gonna share that. Not the listing, the offer to purchase, it's in there. It says that you will share that.
Yeah.
And you should, so when someone tells you, I'm sorry, I gotta ask my buyer for permission, he gave permission when he signed the offer to purchase.
All reports related to the property should be shared. I think it says within a reasonable time frame.
No,
but
it's
yes.
more than a reasonable
Yes,
time
it's-
frame.
yeah.
It's like, it almost says immediately, but it
Yes.
uses different wording.
Yep. So definitely share those with, seller needs to have a copy of those. Best practice, according to the WRA, is for the listing agent to get consent from all parties of the first transaction. So yes, if, you know, that information needs to be shared. So if the seller has, attached it to the condition report, or an amendment to the condition report after the fact, then it should be, you know, part of that, new information that's shared. It's for privacy reasons, just because there could be some things in there, the buyer's name is on it. So best practice, according to the WRA, is to get consent of all parties. Buyer, if you receive that inspection report, just a reminder that should be considered to be for informational purposes only. You're not negotiating based on that report. after the fact. You may not issue a notice of defects for issues that arise that you already had in that report. So just a reminder of that. So best practice, get permission from everybody. If the seller attaches it to the record, then it should be shared if it's, and then just know it's information purposes only. Any questions?
Yeah, so in the past, what I've done is remove that front page that has the first buyers, I always remove that. And then after that, to me, that's the seller's information, it's their property. So I guess my concern is if I go in and I do the right thing, hey, buyer's agent, your buyer backed out, I'm gonna share this report with the next buyer. And they say no, to me,
Perhaps your seller would like to attach that, maybe they would choose to attach that in an amendment to the conditional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Let's go that route instead.
I'm not saying.
That's what I got from the WRA, so that's what I've got. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Woo.
Thanks, Don.
All right, another game, you ready?
Yeah.
How many people, honest opinion, because I'm seeking feedback. How many people have visited kwrealtymke.com before? Sweet, I appreciate the feedback. Any feedback you have to the platform?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We're trying to consolidate every resource possible across 4 locations in one spot. And it's evolving and updating daily. So for example, as we talk about articulating our value and negotiating conversations with buyers as it relates to how you earn your compensation, that's gonna be an ongoing thing that every time we have something that we think is relevant to that exact topic, you'll be able to find it on this platform. Things like that is what we're trying to consolidate resources to get you guys in access to more information so that you have what you need. Cool? What am I missing on that? Ooh.
Yeah, so don't forget that there's, besides those resources he's referring to, there's also like our tech and marketing resources. So things like the shred, maybe not shred event, but like beer gardens were just released. I don't know if you guys saw that. And dog parks was released as well. Those social media posts are on this website. And then there's also the smart plans and the smart plan library. So we do try to like provide it in multiple ways for you guys to just easily grab and go. So you can find those social media posts on our website as well. And then for new agent resources, what actually Kim has done in the North Shore is she looked through our YouTube channel of all the videos that can relate to specific topics, and she broke those down in lists for you. So if you go onto this website under PC coaching and say you wanted some more information on how to run a really good CMA, you can go into that playlist, and then all the video links that are related to running CMAs are kind of in a one-stop shop for you to just kind of grab. Make sense? So a lot of those resources, what we're kind of continually building out and making fresh for you. Good. Here's the value adds that Charlie just alluded to. So if you're under the Agent Hub and Office Resources, there's a button that says Articulating Your Value. Those are gonna have the slides from Valued Squared, the NAR settlement FAQs from KWRI, some other video resources, including the script practice that happened like last week or 10 days ago with Joan Reed and Jay Schmidt in the North Shore. That was recorded and is on YouTube, and the link is also under there as well. So again, anytime we have a mastermind panel regarding these topics, we're gonna also throw it in here as well as on our YouTube channel so that you can get it both ways.
Good?
Cool.
Sweet. YouTube channel we talked about, tons of resources. We're consolidating resources to one spot for you. One spot, right?
Yep.
And then the new 12 direct campaigns you have are, the beer gardens are out and dog parks are available.
And there's also Madison area ones, if any of you want to dabble in that, there's some Madison local ones as well that we've created. And then lastly, our training this month. So this week, we're gonna deep dive into your agent website. If you have not converted over from the old website to the new website, you really kind of need to do that like soon now. I've noticed that functionality is no longer existing on the old website. So we wanna make sure you get converted. If you haven't done that yet, please come to training on Zoom on Thursday. And then next week on the 18th is we're gonna go through consumer apps, but we're also gonna talk about homes.com. Lindsay and I had a call with our local rep of homes.com, and he gave us a lot of good information about what that actually is. I'm sure you guys have all seen those commercials floating around, right? And it seems really salesy from that end, but from what you can do as an agent for free on that platform is really cool as well. So I'm gonna take you through a little tour of just the basics of homes.com so you can understand why you need to be on this platform. There is obviously a paid lead service component to it, but you don't necessarily have to plug into
Do you
that
have
right
any
now.
feedback from people from here that have gone? I went to the website once and I seen several agents from this office on there. Do you have any feedback from them if they're getting leads or?
I don't know if anybody's doing the paid service piece of
Okay.
it.
It's like 300 and some bucks a month.
Well, it's dependent on your listing inventory for the last 12 months, so.
Yeah.
If
So,
you had 2 listings in the last 12 months, it's gonna be one price. If you've had 150 listings in the last 12 months, it's another price.
Really? That's interesting.
and it depends on the area and stuff too, so. So we're gonna talk through some of that stuff on the 18th.
You wanna hear a bold prediction? I'd pay attention to homes.com. Okay, homes.com is basically CoStar. CoStar is the one commercial platform across the country for commercial. CoStar is a $5 billion business. CoStar, there's a theory that CoStar is behind the class action lawsuits. I'm not saying that's true or not, I don't know. I think CoStar is directly coming after NAR and the MLS monopolies, and it would be a platform that I would be paying attention to, especially if you're a heavy listing agent, because the clear delineation between Zillow and homes.com is, and this is a very surface level interpretation of it, so I'm just trying to help you understand why I think you should be paying attention to it, is Zillow's revenue is all derived on the buyer side. If you've paid attention to Zillow stock in the last 4 weeks since the settlement came out, what's it done? It's been impacted significantly because their revenue is associated with buyers. Homes.com is a lead generation source where their lead source is supposed to go back to the listing agent. Obviously, you gotta pay for the platform for their elevated services, but their revenue source is tied to the listing side. And the listing side is ultimately what the MLS services, which is where I think homes.com is going after. And they're a big company. So just something to pay attention to, food for thought. Not saying that it's changing overnight, but it's definitely something I'm paying attention to within the market. Cool? Sweet. All right. I need a favor. You ready?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just see who's on here. You guys like games or no? I can't tell.
Yeah,
Really quiet.
we're just very intense.
Yes or yes? I'm just not used to this group being so quiet. Okay, so there is someone in our community who serves us at an incredibly high level. She's always fighting for the agent's best interest, challenges me in a very positive way to make sure that you have what you need when you need it from a liability standpoint, from an ethics standpoint, from a GMAR standpoint, from a DMSPS standpoint, your ICA, everything. And she's been serving this community for several years. And today's her birthday. Okay, it's Sarah Papp. So I need a favor. Is Sarah in Florida today?
Yes.
I want to blow up Sarah's phone. And so this is Sarah's cell phone. Okay, will you just do me a favor, take 30 seconds out of your day and send Sarah Papp a text wishing her the happiest of birthdays. Because she's an incredible human in our community and I want to make sure that she knows it and feels it in a moment like right now.
Mhm.
She's gonna be.
What the heck?
That's why I looked to see if she was on here first.
She's probably on the pickleball court.
It's fine. I'd rather her think, oh my gosh, the world is ending, and then be surprised with positive energy. So I appreciate the engagement in the games today. Sarah's a phenomenal resource for us, and she really is always looking out in your best interest. This is great. I didn't think I'd have this level of engagement.
Swear to God, when it's my birthday, you do this.
Just make sure you don't have a birthday
Set up
on a
a smart
Tuesday.
plan.
All right, good. Thank you for doing that. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up with two things. One, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Give Where We Live, and you heard about my feelings around opportunities to give back of time, energy, and resources. Does not mean your treasure. It means time and energy. And it's this concept that we've been doing for years around Red Day, renew, energize, and donate. And I'm a big believer in this, that a life is not important except for the impact it has on other lives, okay? How do you grow your influence? How do you make an impact within your community? I think ultimately is what allows you to build a big business personally, build a big business that supports you personally, and builds a big business that makes an impact professionally, okay? Last year, we had an incredible group, 140 people went out to Red Day at Zacharias Acres. We had another 75 people that went to the United Way Diaper Bank, okay? 215-ish people across the 4 locations in southeastern Wisconsin. That's almost 50% of our total agent population decided to give and make an impact. And I know that when we collectively drive a force towards something, we can make a huge impact in one day, okay? And I say that, going back to my original topic when I talked about Milwaukee Rescue Mission, is this. I've been doing this now for 8 years, been to 8 different Red Days. I've heard every excuse in the book as why an agent shouldn't go. It's in the middle of May, it's too busy, I don't have time, my kids have this, I have that, whatever, okay? Totally cool, and I totally respect that. This is not saying you have to be there or whatever. But here's what I also know on the flip side of that conversation. I've never had an agent who's attended a Red Day who didn't come up to me afterwards and say, that was a waste of my time. Everybody leaves and they say, that was incredible. I actually didn't realize how much I needed that in the moment. I didn't realize how much I needed to slow down. I didn't realize how much it gave back to me to give back to others. And it's an incredibly powerful day. And you have the opportunity to do it with someone you don't already know and build bonds in a community while we're all navigating change within our industry. So, as a quick little recap, and mind you, anybody go to Zacharias Acres last year? What happened on the way to Zacharias Acres?
It was an accident.
It was an accident. They closed the roads down and still we had 140 people show up. It was
And that
awesome.
place is amazing. I've never even heard of that. It was really special.
It's cool. So last year we had 140 associates show up. It was the equivalent of 12 corporate groups that they have hosted throughout the year. We planted 1,300 Christmas trees that will generate $130,000 in revenue for the organization. Zacharias Acres is a really special place out in Oconomowoc that hosts kids with disabilities, mainly kids below the poverty line. And it's to get them out into nature, get them into making them feel important. They host Mother's Day events where they take the kids away and then they pamper the mothers, who mainly single mothers. They just do a lot of really cool stuff. We also packed 32,000 diapers for the United Way. Cool. So this year on I don't know if it's a Thursday, but it's May 9th. Is it Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday, May 9th. We have put together a choose your own adventure for Red Day. Okay. And what we wanted to do was provide you 5 opportunities that may be near and dear to your heart or near and dear to where you live, to make it easy for you to raise your hand to say, yes, I want to participate. So 1, we have Zacharias Acres. It's always an option out in Oconomowoc. We will get rocking and rolling out there if you want to participate out there again. 2, the Hunger Task Force has a farm. The farm is 200 acres. They provide about 500,000 pounds of food each year to our community from this farm. They need help. The Hunger Task Force has a warehouse. I think it's like right down the street, right over near Miller Park. They need help. Courage MKE provides housing, resources, and services needed for displaced and homeless LGBTQ+ youth within our Milwaukee community to thrive. They need help. Franklin Little League, which we tried to identify something down in the southwest corridor, they could use some help. So we have 5 opportunities. Some are day long, some are half days, some are just a few hours. We will have site captains at all 5 of the sites, and our goal is to create a collective force amongst our KW community to make an impact on Thursday, May 9th.
Could we include a spouse with this?
Of course. Okay. You can include spouse, you can include children as long as they're over 18.
Yeah.
It's generally our rule of thumb. But we've had spouses, honestly, we've had grandparents come, we've had neighbors come, and the coolest thing about this, over the last several years, as we've continued to grow and the amount of engagement we've had in Red Day has grown, Zacharias Acres, like, is an example, last year, 140 people, they're like, okay, we can't have you come with 200 people this year. Cause it started with 30, then it went to 60, then it went to about 90, and then it went to 140. So we had to diversify where we're giving back in order to make a collective impact. Cool? So Thursday, May 9th, I'll tell you, if you come, you won't regret it. If you don't come, that's totally cool. Like there's no obligation to this, but I know that it's awesome. One other thing to note just too about Red Day, all offices in Milwaukee will be closed because all the leadership team will be supporting the Red Day initiative. Cool? Sweet. All right. Now, I'm gonna go into Q1 qualitative insights as to what I'm seeing in 2023 or 2024. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
It's a very engaging group. Feel free to pepper me with questions. Feel free to challenge me, Cotter. It's okay. You sit front and center. You gotta.
I just can't see the board otherwise.
But here's the quick synopsis up front. The tide is rising. And hopefully you feel it. Okay, so we'll go through it. I'm gonna take a step back though. In early part of Q4, I created an outlook that I shared with this group that said, hey, if I had a crystal ball, this is kind of what I'm seeing. Okay, and basically I shared a whole presentation and this was the end of it, but demographics related demand are in our favor. Okay, we talked a lot about how demographics are in our favor, and then I didn't see demand really subsiding despite affordability issues and rate issues. Okay, inventory, I thought as a prediction was going to be flat to slightly rise in 24. I didn't think that it was going to go backwards, and I thought that prices would continue to appreciate mid-single digits. Okay, and my prediction was if the market was flat, I'd be happy. And if the market was up single digits, I'd be ecstatic. So after Q1, let's see how my predictions were. Fair? Cool. So there's a lot of data in this, but this is to tell a story. I built this looking back from going back to March of last year. So you had a whole year of data to look at. When I talk about lead metrics and lag metrics, lead metrics, just focusing on one, is listings taken units. You can't sell more transactional units if there aren't more listings on the market. And listings taken units will lead to closed units. And if you saw through the first half of last year, listings taken were down anywhere between 20 to 30% on a year-over-year basis. And then in August, something happened. And it was like I don't know how the best analogy to put it, but something happened to Mark, right? Because you look down 20 to down 30, and then all of a sudden it went down 4, down 3, down 5. And then you can see how 30 to 60, 90 days later, as the story unfolds, how that translates to closed units. We went from down 20, down 30 to down 5, down 5, down 12. But down 5 is significantly improved from a down 25. Would you agree? And so when we were building this out and I was looking at this and heading into 24, I was thinking to myself, are we at, remember I kept posing the question, are we at the bottom? Have we hit the bottom? So now, if you look in January, February, and then into March, listings taken in January was up 3.5%. Closed units were up 1%. First time that's happened in over a year. Okay, February, listings taken was up 12. February closed units were up 8. March, listings taken was down 6. I think that you have to look at the first 2 months of the year because of the way that the calendar could shake out of how those metrics would play out, and closed units were up 2. So Q1, if you look at the first 3 months of the year, closed units were up 5, listings taken units were up 3.5, and contracts written on the buyer side was up 5%. And my trend is telling me that the tide is slowly rising. We have to be paying attention to it, okay? And in a moment of uncertainty within our industry and a lot of questions of what it is that where we are and where it is that we're going, here's what I know. Now that the tide is rising again, we got to continue to making sure that we're putting our blinders on, our heads down, and doing our activities because the business is happening and the business is coming back. And we've kind of experienced the depths of the lull, and now it's starting to ramp up. So new inventory units, I'm going to give you a 3-year perspective on this because 21 was the crest of the market, 22 was the shift of the market, 23 was the lull of the market. Okay. Q1 of 24 versus Q1 of 23, new inventory units were up 3.5. Compared to 22, it was down 20, and compared to 21, it was down 21% over a 3-year period of just the first quarter versus first quarter comparisons, okay? Also, I give you the data so that you know I'm not blowing hot air at you. And then at the end, I'll give you the grocery store market of the moment script. So when you run into someone and say, what's going on in the market, you have some nuggets that you can speak to very effectively. Okay?
And nobody ever asks you, right?
Never.
For you, where you go.
Yeah. Total inventory up 3.5% or up 312 units versus last year at this time, but you can see what it's done over the last 3 years. Okay? And the reason why I'm giving you a 3-year perspective is there's something here I'm leading to. Okay? Here's my first big nugget within the year. Expired inventory units, despite the fact that transactions are up, and we'll talk about the rate and velocity of sale here shortly. Expired listings were up 41% in March, and they were up 27% for the entire first quarter. Okay, it's 2 things that I take away from that. 1, listing agents, you have to absolutely make sure that you are not overpromising and under-delivering. Because sellers are very aware of what's going on in the market. And if you overpromise and under-deliver, you will be a statistic and you will get canceled. Okay? The second piece of that is I really believe, because there's hundreds of units out there right now, there's really an opportunity to be the second listing agent in the marketplace on these expired units. So maybe it might not be a part of your business plan, you've never focused on them before, but I'm just saying there's an opportunity there if you so choose to go chase it, okay? And as a listing agent, make sure that your value proposition, your pricing and everything else, your pencil is really, really sharp, because I think that the increase in of expireds isn't because of a soft market. It's because of poor performance on the listing agent or poor performance of setting expectations on the front side, okay? Next, sales absorption rate, it's a percentage of inventory of, that goes under contract. It's the best indication I look at from a demand standpoint. March was 14% higher than the average of the last 12 months, okay? So what's happened, January and February, more listings came to the market. January, February, March, buyers are sitting around and they're realizing more inventories on the market, all of a sudden demand popped, right? It's an interesting correlation between listings coming to the market and how people are paying attention. It's 14% higher than what it had been over the last 12 months average. Now, average days on market, in the month of March, it was 32 days on market. This is the another, again, velocity rate of sale. This is important to understand because you have to right-size people's expectations. The expectation of getting an accepted offer in 24 to 48 hours is unrealistic when the market average is 32 days. I think that a lot of reasons why expired listings are happening, and I've seen this and heard this, is someone gives you basically 5 days to sell it, and if you didn't sell it, somebody else will do it for you, right? And so we're making sure that we're going in with right-size expectation in terms of what the velocity and rate of sale is. Also, interestingly to note, looking back over a 3-year period over the first quarter, what did I say earlier about what for 2021 was? It's the absolute peak of the market, the crest. Yes, the crest of the market. Interestingly, the crest of the market, the average days on market was 46 days on market during first quarter. Okay, Q1 of 2022, which was still a really good market, but the market was starting to shift. Because if you remember, February of 22 is when the rates skyrocketed. It was 38 days on market. Last year was 35, this year's 40. Basically, velocity and rate of sale is continuing to go at the same pace it has been over the 3 years. It's just a function as less inventory comes to the market is why transactional units are going down. But the demand side that drives how quickly the market moves hasn't really changed. Okay? Units going under contract. Q1 of this year versus last year was up 5%. I mentioned that earlier. When you compare it versus 22, it was down 23%. When you compare it versus 21, it's down 27%, or 1,600 fewer units versus the crest of the market in the first quarter. Impacts on pricing, incredibly interesting to note. Q1 of this year, it was up 3% on the average, up 5% on the median. Over a 3-year span within the first quarter, Averages are up 25%, medians up 25, and when you look at the same 3 years on the impacts of price per square foot, it's up 24% over the 3-year period.
But that 3% is healthy.
The 3% is healthy.
3-4% is healthy.
Yeah. On an annualized basis, then you compound that over a 3 or 4 year period and you can see where the appreciation is really going. So here's my grocery store market of the moment script to help you boil down all that data and what the heck does it mean? So what's happening? If someone came up to me when I'm getting a carton of eggs and a gallon of milk, I'd say, look, the market's healthy. Why do you say that? Well, the tide's rising. Through Q1, transactional units are up 5%, okay? Despite, yeah, if they bring up the lawsuits, yeah, there's a little uncertainty as to how we operate, but it doesn't mean that the market's stopping. The market's up 5% in the first quarter. That's coming off of 2 straight years of a down market. And that's all anybody wants to hear is negative energy. And this is facts. This isn't like spinning rose-colored glasses. Now, we continue to face years of inventory compression that is not able to meet the incredible demand in southeastern Wisconsin. We need to help stabilize the narrative that the market is rocky. It's healthy. We have healthy demand. We have low inventory, yes, but transactional units are up 5%. Now, the market is operating in very comparable to years past in terms of velocity and the pace in which deals are transacting. Even at the crest of the market in 2021, the pace in which the deals are occurring is happening at the same pace. There's just less of them because there's less inventory, right? So demand of the market comparatively, the demand in southeastern Wisconsin remains incredibly strong despite what has happened to buyers' affordability due to home value appreciation and increases in the rate environment. Everybody keeps, what are you hearing about the narrative about rates and appreciation? Buyers are gonna get out, buyers are gonna get out. There's nothing that's telling us that buyers are getting out. They're just right-sizing their expectations of what they can get into, right? And how do we know this? Prices continue to appreciate. In the last 3 years, homes in southeastern Wisconsin have appreciated at a 24% value. Okay? Lastly, and why might this be? Because we have incredibly stable demand and we have low inventory pressures. So 70, and there are 3 nuggets that I would share with them. Why is there continue to be low inventory? Well, 72% of homes in southeastern Wisconsin have less than a 3% mortgage, so there's low incentive. 2, the advancement of modern medicine, people are aging in place longer. And coming out of 2020 with all the issues within our healthcare systems, people have created a little bit of angst about leaving their homes, right? Especially in older generations. And new construction in southeastern Wisconsin, new construction development has not kept pace that has helped alleviate the inventory issue. So good news is, Mr. Seller, you've gained a lot of equity. And what does your balance sheet look like based on what we think your value of your home is and what would you do with that equity? Or where would you go or what does that look like? And how you help them solve that problem is what will allow you to help you manufacture listings. And on the buyer side, it's helping them realize and right-size expectations that, look, you aren't unique. There's 4 more of you running around looking for the same properties at any given time. Let's be prepared to put yourself in the best position forward, and I'll be able to help you do that based on what my value proposition is. Does that make sense?
Bless you.
Bless you. Cool?
Yeah.
Good news, market's rising. Home values are continuing to appreciate. How many of you heard buyers say, did I buy at the peak of the market? Did I buy at the peak of the market? From a value perspective, they didn't buy at the peak of the market. Why? Time in the market beats timing the market. Okay? I like that one. Time in the market beats timing the market. So I've shared with you guys before, but you're an incredible group of folks. When you compare them against your peers, you sell 100, the average agent at KW sells 102% more closed volume and 69% more closed units than the average in GMAR. If you look to the agent to the left of you and the agent to the right of you, you are among an incredibly productive group of people that know how to get shit done. We need to lean on each other in these moments to help navigate the murkiness of the market of the moment. Make sense?
You know, it's interesting about these graphs. I'm just saying, because I was at RE/MAX last year.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are, the graphs appear to be different. Like the thing, you know?
See that too.
And I was at RE/MAX, everything they showed us, RE/MAX was on top and Keller was like saying, and Shore West was way down. And you hear this thing from people I know that work at Shore West, like, oh, we're the number 1 and everything.
So interesting to note on that. You notice,
I'm not telling you it's a lie, I'm just
No.
saying, you know.
counterpoint to that. Most of them are marketing graphics. Never share with you the source information, right? Everything I always share with you, just for, if you really look at it, I always share where I pulled it, the date and time in which I pulled from, so this is 1/1/23 to 12/31/23. I always show the property type, I always show the counties in which I'm pulling it, I typically pull the 5-county metro area. And I'm showing the property types, construction type, all of it, so that there's no questions as to this, a bunch of BS. This is, I like data, right, because facts tell, stories sell. Facts are the facts, right? And so you're an incredibly group of people, and we're gonna continue to lean on that environment and the collaboration amongst our community, which is why you see so much stuff in April to help you navigate the market at the moment as to where you are and where you're going, and we'll help you get there, because you're a part of an incredible group of folks. So GCIs, March, 3.8 million was paid out amongst the KW community in southeastern Wisconsin. And year to date, it's 8.7 million, which is up 3.3%. I think that's incredible, based on where we are right now. And the questions around commissions and what your worth is for this group to continue to grow it, I think is fantastic. And will help you, and it's a testament to what you've leaned into from a training and education perspective and how you've implemented it. The other cool thing, on April 21st, we'll pay out $55,000 in profit share, and year to date, it'll attune to $82,000 across the southeastern Wisconsin metro area. Everybody has an equal opportunity at the profit share. Most have an unequal reward, or few have an unequal reward. Question is, do you participate in it or not? And that's totally cool either way. Sound good? Love it. Questions, comments, feedback? This group isn't usually this quiet. More games, less games.
More games.
You come in with the facts.
I think you'll notice that there's less comments when you're spewing all the numbers out there.
Yeah.
Other than someone, coming in and saying, can you back it up, which is great. I think that's an extremely important question, because there's so many ways to skew data to make them in your favor.
Yeah, that's why really, quite frankly, I don't talk about our data a lot. I talk about the macro environment of the data. Because quite frankly, the only thing you guys care about is the macro environment as to what's my opportunity. And so what I try to do is arm you with the mindset that there is opportunity in this market. I can go get the opportunity if I so desire, and that the market is rising, the tide is rising because of these metrics that we're looking at, and that you shouldn't be operating from a place of fear, because the demand side of the equation remains really, really strong. We have some questions around operationally, what we will do and how we will do it, right? In terms of buyer side commissions and things, but the market is healthy, activity, deal flow is there. We just have to put our heads down, put our blinders on, do the activities, and what we desire out of this business will show up. Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. And all of it's available to you on kwrealtymk.com. So if you just want, because I get many questions, or I see people taking pictures, all of it's available to you. We'll have it uploaded for you probably by this week. Cool? Awesome. Love you guys. Appreciate your engagement. Thanks for playing games with me. And if you need anything, let us know. Have a great day, guys.
I said I wasn't gonna say one thing during this meeting.
Connor, did you ever watch The Office?
No, I don't.
Well,
I know.
did you ever watch The Office?
I know of it, but